Hi, my name is Deanna Hope, and welcome back to Spooky Spotlight, the show where I shine a light on horror films that you may or may not have heard of. Today we are discussing A Perfect Getaway, a 2009 horror mystery film directed by David Twohy. Perfect Getaway is about a couple on their honeymoon in Hawaii, when they discover that there's been some grisly murders on one of the other islands. They discover that the killers were a man and a woman, and along the way, they end up meeting a lot of couples, a lot of interesting characters, and we really don't know who done it. The opening scene switches between wedding footage and footage of the couple, aka Cliff Anderson, played by Steve Zahn, and Sydney Anderson, played by Mila Jovovich, on their alleged honeymoon. With this film, the devil is really in the details, and I'm warning everyone right now that going forward, there are going to be heavy spoilers. I highly recommend you go watch the film and then come back to watch the rest of this video. This is really the type of film that is much more fun if you go in blind, because once you do know the truth, the details and the hints, it's kind of everywhere. Now, in this opening footage, they do address each other by their full names. They say, oh, we gotta get used to these names now, which is a little cringy, but it is something that newlywed couples do. But it is also something that someone with a stolen identity would say as well. You see what I'm getting at? Yep, you heard that right. Us as the audience spend a majority of the film thinking that Cliff and Sydney are innocent. They even act highly suspicious of the other couples. The absolute genius of this film and why it impressed me so much is because everything, I mean everything, including the title of the film itself, has a double meaning. We have three main couples who are out there in the wilderness, all in the same space, and they all are very unique and very much each have their own specific, suspicious traits about them. We have young, very young Chris Hemsworth and his lady out there, and they're very free-spirited, wanderers. Unfortunately, they end up getting framed. We have Sydney and Cliff Anderson, who we eventually learn killed the real Andersons. And then we have Nick and Gina, who are survival specialists. Gina can even gut animals, which of course comes across suspicious. But thank God they were survival specialists, because if they weren't, they probably would have died. Overall, this film has a great twist, has a lot of twists and turns. It's very adventurous. They did shoot on location, which made for some stunning shots. I will say this, if you have the opportunity and the capacity to film on location, do, because it is always worth it. I mean, this movie is absolutely stunning. The script throws so many hints to the audience, really toys with them along the way. You really think it could be any of them, but that includes Nick's character, played by Timothy Olyphant, accuses Cliff of being a killer, and Nick, in response to Cliff denying it,
so it would make a hell of an Act 2 twist.
One of my favorite red herrings, which I will play at the end of this video, is Nick and Cliff are discussing something, and then Cliff goes, oh, red herring. And Nick is like, no, it's actually this other bird. But they literally say red herring. The cast is solid. The location is impeccable. This film screams summer. And you can watch it whether you're on a tropical island or not. What's not to love? Let me know in the comments below if you watched the film and what you thought of the twists and everything we discussed today. Thank you so much for joining me for our 22nd episode, and I will see everybody in 2 weeks.
Red snappers.
You know, you bring in a character just to fuck with the audience, to try to throw them off track by
It's a herring. It's a red herring.